This conference will now be recorded.
Uh, Guys, be online, just 5 minutes. Okay. So let's get started. Let me log into the node. Guys, any doubts in the previous class? Any questions that you have not clarified yesterday and that you want to ask today? You can ask me. Any sort of question.
Sugam, Suresh.
Yeah, Suresh.
I got an error. You can't attach to stop container. Start it the first.
Uh-huh. So maybe the container which you have created, right? It is already stopped. So you cannot log into the container. So first of all, whenever you create a container, right? So just verify with docker ps command. I hope you are able to see the screen, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So docker space ps command will show you the running containers. If it is not showing you here, it means that it is stopped. Okay. So how will you verify it? Docker ps hyphen a. Okay, so here I can see that it is stopped. Why it is stopped? Because yesterday what I have done, I shut down my system. When my base machine is off, how your containers will run? So it is stopped automatically. Okay, it will exit. So now today I have started. Just now I have started, right? Okay, so now automatically the containers will not start. It doesn't have that functionality. We need to give it. Okay, so let's see what we need to give, and we will try to restart my system and see whether the containers are getting automatically started or not. Okay, let's try to do that. Okay, now for an existing container, we can modify it. Okay, or while creating the container, we need to give that particular parameter. So let's do that. Okay, so these are like already created containers. I have two containers which are automatically stopped. I want a functionality that they should be automatically started. Okay, so let's see what we need to do. So there is a concept called restart policy. Okay, so restart policy, there are three parameters: on failure, never, always. Always in the sense, whatever the state of the container, how, for what reason it is stopped, it will try to start it automatically. Okay, your docker daemon will try to start it automatically. On failure in the sense, only when there is a failure in the container, then it will try to start it. Okay, never in the sense, it will never start your container if it is stopped. That is what happened right now. Okay, so now I need to update this particular parameter of a running container. Since it is already created, I cannot give a parameter right now. It is not creation, right? It is just we are updating it. So for that, we in docker we have an option called, I'll show you that, update. Okay, so here we have a
Okay.
concept called update. So what are the parameters we can update for a running container? You can update the CPU limit, memory limit, and then a restart policy. Okay, but port forwarding you cannot update. That's the reason I told you, when creating a container itself, we need to give the port forwarding. Okay, you got my point, right? So
Yeah.
now I need to update the restart policy saying that it is should be always. Okay, so docker update. Okay, what I need to give now? You need to give the container name. See here we can give the container ID and the option what you want to do. Okay, so it should be restart. Okay, always. Okay, always, and the container ID. So what is the container ID? Let's give Sudham's, and then it is feature. Okay, now let's see whether it will start automatically, or let us try to reboot the system and see whether it will automatically start or not. Okay, now I'm restarting my system. Okay,
Okay.
in the background it is getting restarted. You can see here. Now this parameter is nothing but you're enabling the docker in such a way that my container should start when the this machine is getting booted. Okay, at the runtime itself. That is what I have done right
Hmm.
now. This is what you're looking for, right?
Yes.
Now let's log into the container, sorry, Docker machine which I have, where I have installed. So you can see now. So automatically my containers got started. I have not done anything like Docker start and give the parameter of container saying that start it. No, it automatically started. You can see the 6 seconds. Means just now it got started.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the functionality parameter we need to add while creating the container. So what are the parameters we know right now? Let us recall it. Docker run -dti, in the sense it will create a container and it will throw in the background with a terminal. Okay. And then we have hyphen name. We have seen hyphen host name.
Host.
We have seen hyphen net, hyphen IP, and then hyphen restart. We need to give here itself hyphen p. Okay, if you want to give the CPU limit also, we can give hyphen CPU, hyphen memory. Okay, and then your image. Okay, so these many parameters you can pass while creating the container. I hope you got it right.
Yes.
Okay. So yesterday we have seen, yesterday I have told you that I will discuss the commands one after the other. So let's come to that. Okay. Now, these are like sub commands. Sub commands in the sense I told you, right? There is a Docker run command as well as Docker container run. Okay. Container run in the sense these are container related commands. What are the commands you write after the container? It is container related. So they have segregated in the new version. We have the older commands and the new commands also. Maybe in the future they will try to remove that older commands. Okay, as of now, we need to follow both if you want. Okay, or follow the latest commands whenever you try to use the latest version of Docker. Okay, so now let's see what is attach. I have already told you that is like you are trying to log into the container. We need to give an attach. Okay, so whatever the first command was written, that will be executed. Then you give an attach. Since my Docker, okay, my container, you can see here. When I give an attach command, Docker attach command and the doc container name, let us say Docker attach, and if I give the container name, okay, you will log into the container with the shell. Why? Because the first command which will be executed is bin bash. Here also you can see bin bash. That's the reason you have got this particular terminal. Okay, with the attach. Now I can give exit command. Okay, it doesn't create any problem. You can see here. Okay. Now build and commit, I will tell you when we come across building our own images. Okay, customized images. Okay, these two options I will tell you tomorrow. Today let us see other commands. Cp command. Cp command is nothing but to copy the files. Docker itself has some predefined command. Normally what we used to do, we used to use general cp command in Linux operating system. Okay, cp, we need to give the source location. Just I'm giving the syntax, and destination location. Okay, so this is how we used to give. Okay, let us do one thing. I will try to copy some files. Let us say touch sudams.yaml. Just a file. I gave this file. Okay, it doesn't mean that it has some content. Okay, now I want to copy this file from this particular location. What is the location? It is under root directory. It is under /root. There is a file called sudams.yaml, and this file I want to copy it to somewhere else. So what I used to do, copy in the sense it will present here as well as in the destination. Okay, so cp. If you want to copy with the permissions, then we need to give -p. We can give recursive. Recursive in the sense there is a directory. Under the directory, you have some files and directories once again. Then you want to copy that particular parent directory. So then we need to give -r recursive. Okay. So now we don't want anything because permissions, obviously it will copy with the same permissions. I want that. And I don't want to use recursive because it is just a file. It is not a directory. Okay. So Okay, I'm already in the root directory, so I'm not giving the complete path. And the destination is, I just want to copy it to the temp directory. Okay, now if you go to the /temp directory, you can see this file is present. Okay, so this is the general copy command which we use in the Linux operating system. So let's say what about Docker? Okay, so Docker, let us say we have cp command. Okay, so here also it is the same. First will be the destination, sorry, source, and second will be the destination. When you are trying to copy the file from the container to from the base machine to the container, let us say I have this file sudams.yaml. I want to copy this file to my container. Okay, let's see what we need to do. So Docker cp file name, so it's under okay, okay. So now this file I want to copy to the container. So first give the container name, okay, and give the path where you want to copy. Let's say var/temp. I want to copy here. Now this command got executed. So how will you verify it? Let us log into the container. Docker exec -ti sudams and then bash. Okay, now you're logged in. So let us verify under var temp. So here we can see this particular file. So I just copied it. Okay. Any questions, guys, in this? Anything you have to be
Sudam is
clarified?
the Docker. Hello.
Sorry, your voice is breaking.
Yeah, Sudam is the connector name, right?
Yeah, it's my file name. Sudams is my container ID, container name actually. Okay.
Okay.
We give exit Docker.
So the Docker
Yes.
exec is
See,
does it log into the container or
no. Exit in the sense I have came
not
out of the
exec?
container.
No. Docker exec.
Execute. It is execute in the sense I'm trying to execute some particular commands. But if you give bash in the sense you will try to log into the bash terminal of the container. Let us say I'll give you one example of exec. Okay, Docker exec -ti. Okay, let's say Sudams is my container. I don't want to log into the container, but I want to pull some data. So we can use exec command also. See, let's say if I use var /temp, here we can see. So where this command got executed, can someone tell me? See, I not logged into container, but I executed some command. Where it got executed?
Bash.
Sorry? No. See, this is trying to execute in the container this particular command. If you give bash, you will log into the container. Okay, bash is a terminal. It is not a command. In the sense like, see, now I logged into the container. Okay, so that is a major difference we have.
Yeah, but you have given bash for that, right? So even if we give Docker,
Mm.
okay, to execute a command, so we have to log in. We
Yes.
can use attach as well, right?
Attach we can use. Okay, that depends upon the command we have. Okay, attach is okay, you will log into the container when you have bin bash as a command. When there is something else, let us say some people what they will do, they'll give a default command that whenever you try to create a container or log into the container, it will execute some command. Let us say top command or whatever it is. At that time you cannot log into the container with attach. We need to give exec. What exec will do, it will override the default one and then it will log into the container. So now what is the default command? It has been bash. Now I'm trying to execute this command. Okay, that is what we are trying to do. So without login to the container, we can execute the command on that container. Or if you want to log into the container, we need to give bash. In the sense, you will log into the bash terminal. Docker attach and the container ID is also to log into the container, but it depends upon the command we have. Last command we have. So this is the last command which got executed when you try to create a container from the image. Okay. This concept you will understand when we come across Docker files and converting your container into image. So these two, and there you will try to understand this. Okay. Maybe now Did you got my point? What I'm
Yeah,
trying
yeah,
to say?
understood. So yeah. So executive command we can use either we can give
Yes.
bash to login or we can directly execute.
Execute the commands without
Yeah.
logging to the content. That is
Yes.
what.
Got you. Yep.
Okay. Now, so where I am? Yeah. So we are trying to copy that particular command. Copy the file from one machine, from your base machine to the container. Let's say I want to download the file. Let's say I have removed from my base machine. Let us say, yeah, I've removed it. Now I don't have the file. Unfortunately, I have deleted it. Now I want to copy that particular files from the container. I want to download it. So what I need to do? Docker cp. Now first I need to give the container details. So it's sudams colon where it is var slash temp. Okay. This particular directory files I need to download to my current working directory. Okay. Now you can see here. So directly temp directory got okay. I would have given slash star. Oh, okay. If you want a specific file, obviously I need to give. So it's dot. Now you can see. Okay. Just I will remove the temp. So now you can see the file got downloaded. Okay. So you can upload the file, and in the sense you can copy the file, or you can copy from the base machine to the destination like container, or from the container to the base machine. So vice versa. You can follow it. So that is all about your cp command. Okay.
So
So
it's
Docker,
same.
sorry.
So it's like similar the Linux commands, but we need to
Yeah.
specify
Yeah.
specific container
Yeah.
path. That's it.
Yes. Yes. See, if I do normal cp command, it doesn't know what is Sudams, right? It will think as if it is a file.
Yep.
Okay, so it is Docker related. So that's the reason I gave Docker before it, so that my command can understand that it's a Docker related copy command. Okay. Then, any other question? Guys, before you're speaking, just put your mics to near to your mouth. Okay, I'm not able to hear actually. Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Meanwhile, you can post. Okay. So that's all about your CP command. Sorry, Docker. FN help. Okay. Now there is a create a new container. So let's say if you want to create a container, we can also use docker create command, or we can use docker container create, both. Okay. So if you want to see the options, you can see there are plenty of options. Whatever the options we have for run, we have the same options. Hyphen d for detach. Okay. Hyphen t. I think we don't have anything like d. Do you have anything like d? Okay, fine. Yeah. So we have T and I. Okay, I is there, T is there, terminal, I for interactive mode. Okay, you can see here, interactive mode. Okay, if you want a specific IP, then I have hyphen IP. Okay, anything else, and then publish. Okay, hyphen capital small p. Publish all in the sense we need to give hyphen capital P. Capital P in the sense it will publish all the ports which are present in the container. Okay. RM in the sense to remove. Automatically remove the container with it when it exists. Okay. So here the simple example here, did anyone understood this particular option? What is hyphen RM?
Delete a container when we
Yeah. When it
Yeah.
exists. What is the meaning of it?
come out
So
of
once
that
it
container.
is, yep.
Previously, when we started our session, I've shown you the Docker containers are stopped. Okay, it
Yeah,
has
control
some
PQ.
status saying that exit 0 or something, right? So when you get those kind of errors, automatically your container will be deleted. Okay, it will remove the container. See, this option you need to give while creating the container itself, so that whenever it faces a problem with exit, then automatically your container will be removed. Okay, that you need to understand. You got it?
Yes, so like this will be
Okay.
helpful when we are
Yes,
using
of
Docker
course.
create command only.
Of course. Yeah. See, let's say you are trying to create a container. Okay. You know that particular task is done. The container task is done. Whenever in future, if you get something like exit, you are not bothered about the container if it is deleted also. Okay. Then we can give that particular option hyphen rm.
No, no, this option.
Sometimes
No, no,
maybe in real time. It's
we
like
have to.
this. It's like this. Docker create hyphen rm hyphen ti like this. Okay.
So we
This
this,
is one of the option we have.
yeah, this option doesn't comes like when we use Docker run.
Docker run.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, we get it. See, Docker run also has this hyphen rm. Let me show you that. Where is that R? Which have it? Yeah, you can see here. Okay, got it right? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now let's. That is all about create. I think it is not required to show this special option, right? Docker create and Docker run are the same. Only this hyphen D is not available for your create. In this is daemon. Okay, throwing the container in the background. That option is not available. Okay, rest are available in this. You can see detach. Okay, we don't have this kind of detach in your create option. You can see here there is no option called detach. Okay, so that is a major difference we have. Now, what is our next command? That is deploy. Deploy a new stack or update an existing stack. So let's see. I think this concept is new. I've never seen it. Deploy. Deploy. I don't see this. Deploy. Oh, deploy is only supported on the Docker daemon with experimental features enabled. Okay. So we cannot use this one right now. Okay. That is just in testing phase. Okay. So since we are using the stable version, we cannot use this particular option. You can see it is still under the experimental feature. Okay. It is just enabled, but you cannot use it. Okay. That's the reason I'm saying like, what is this option? Okay. So Docker hyphen help. Let's see the next one. So we have seen what is attach, build and commit. I will tell you later. We have seen what is CP. Now we can see create. Okay. Create we have already seen. Diff. Inspect changes to files or directories on a containers file system. Okay, let us say you want to see some changes which are done in the container file system, then we need to go for diff command. Okay, so how will you give that? Docker diff, okay, and help. Okay, so diff, and you need to give the container. Okay, nothing else. Okay, just if you give the container name, it will show you if there is some difference in the file system. Okay, so it is like added, okay, created or something like that. It is showing you A and C. A in the sense it is added, C in the sense it is created. Okay, you can see here the first parameter which we have. Okay, so created, okay, added. Okay, so these many things we have. So these are the files which got changed. Okay, changed, added. Okay, this is what happened. Okay, now next events. The next option is events. Events in the sense, let us say if you want to see the real-time events of the server, okay, of our Docker
Uh,
main
uh,
machine. It is not about the container. Okay, if you want to see what happened to your Docker till now, what you have done with the Docker commands or whatever it is, okay, what happened to the Docker, so everything will be monitored in the events. Okay, if you want to see, let's say Docker events and then press enter. it will take a bit time. It has a lot of logs. Let me do one thing. So there is another option called hyphen since. Since let us say 1 hour, I want the details from past 1 hour. You can see here. From past 1 hour, these are the things which are happened. Okay. I created a container. Okay, I executed some command in the container. Okay, and then I started the container, and then I have done the resize. So these things are monitored. So these are the events which are done in the your entire Docker machine. Okay, so everything will be stored in events. Events. So there is an option called since 1 hour, since 2 hours. If you want to see the logs from past 2 hours, we need to give 2h. Okay, if it is minutes, you need to give m. Okay, from past 2 minutes, from past 2 hours. Okay, we'll give like that. What is until in the sense? Let us say you want to see from past 1 hour and till before 2 minutes. So then we need to give until. Okay, so that is a parameter. Okay, we need to give. In the sense, if you want to see the between, okay, from past 1 hour and let us say from past 2 hours to past 1 hour, the time frame between them. Okay, then we need to go for since and until. Okay, until in the sense till here, since in the sense from there. Okay, that is the major difference between since and until. Okay, that is what we are trying to do. That is all about events, nothing much to do with this. Okay, just to understand what is events. If you want to see like logs and everything will be stored in Docker logs. Okay, for example, let's var log. Sorry. Actually in this logs it will store the entire details, but there are so many other details also, kernel. So we need to filter like this, docker d. Okay, docker related information, but it has a lot of other informations also. If you want only docker related events, then you need to go for docker events and the like parameters, whatever you want from past 1 hour, 2 hours, what you want to see. So that you have to mention. Okay, that is all about events. Okay, now let's see the next option. Events we have done, execute we have seen, export in the sense, let us say I want to convert, I want to have the entire data which is present in the container to a file. Okay, whatever the data is present in the container, I want to save it in a file. Okay, so this is what they are trying to say. Export a containers file system as a tar archive. Tar archive in the sense zip format, tar zip format. Okay, so then we use export. Let's see how to do that. Docker export. Okay, and here we need to give the container name and the options, whatever you want to do. So let's try to do that. Let's say I want to save it as Sudams. Okay, and the container name itself is Sudams. See what will happen. It will take bit time. It depends upon the container, the amount of content it has in the container. Okay, this will be the file name. See, out in the sense out string write to a file instead of standard output. Instead of printing in the terminal itself, we are trying to save the output in the file. So that's the reason I gave -o. Now you can see there is a file. You can see the size. If you want to see in human readable language, the size is 203 MB. Okay. Now if you try to open also, you cannot see anything. It's a binary file. Okay. That is what. Okay, so this is all about your export. Why it is useful? Let us say I will try to export. Okay, and someone wants to use the same kind of container. They want to create a container, so then we need to use import. Okay, docker export you will try to convert your container data into a file. Okay, that file you try to copy with a normal copy command or whatever it is, or else you will save in your drive. Okay, later on someone wants to use the same content which you have in your container. So what you can do, you can give that particular archive file to any one of them, so that they will use docker import command, and they will try to save the content. Okay, or copy the content. Let's see the import. You can see the import here. Okay, so import the contents from the tarball to create a file system image. So here he is trying to create an image. Okay, let's see that. So docker import. Okay, options, if you want, you can see some changes. Apply docker changes. I'm not have any docker file. Let's say if you want to pass some message. This is image created from toolbar. Okay, in the sense from export command. Okay, you want to give the repository name. Let's say like Sudham's or my repository Docker repository name is this. Okay, I just want to save like latest such file or directory. Oh, okay. Got it. I need to give the file name. Okay, from this file, okay, whatever the toolbar you have created, it is trying to create a new image. Okay, this is the message which I passed while creating the image. Okay, now the image got created. Let's see Docker images. You can see here latest. If you log into the container, we need to see this particular container details as well as this particular image details, as well as some additional things like you have installed Apache Web Server and so many other things we have done, right? So that those things you will see in this particular image. Okay, when you try to create a container. Okay, that's all about it. You can see Docker history.
So Sudham,
Yeah.
so when we are trying to create that tarball, so does it also copy all the apps in the container?
Of course. Why not?
So what if we want to exclude those applications and give only the container file system? Can we do that?
Then it is not required. Directly you can use the image, right? Why to convert your container into Trollball? It is not required. Directly you have an image which has a file system.
Okay.
Got it right? See, when it is really not
Yeah.
required, directly you can use the main image and you can create your own container instead of relying on that particular Trollbar. Okay?
Okay. Got it.
Okay. So these are the details which I am looking at the image which I have created, and this is the message which I have passed. You can see the message, right? Okay. So that is all about it.
Sudham's in the import one. Sudham's is like the in the I couldn't understand the syntax. So
okay, syntax, right? See here, Docker import message, in the sense you are trying to pass some message so that you can understand while looking at the message from what reason you have created this image. Okay, that is just a message. It doesn't do any action in the background. Okay, and then I gave the container. This is the file which I have created. I have converted using Docker export. I gave the container ID and I gave -o and the file name, right? The file name is this, where I have the file system of that particular container. Not only file system, other data also, what I have done in the container, that is stored as a file system. Okay, so this file I'm trying to convert as a image. So that's the reason what I gave this particular name. I gave this is repository. Okay, if I want to upload to my own Docker Hub, I need to give my ID first and then /image and the tag. This is what we give generally. This is the syntax we give to create an image. This
so
is the repository location. In this sense, this is my account. Okay, it will identify, okay, this username is existing. exist or not, and then it will try to upload this particular image.
In case of Sudams, like if we have real tar dart, like if anything, like we can
Huh.
just give that.
That file you need to mention here.
Okay.
Okay, since I gave every name as Sudam, so that's the reason you have confused, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that is it container or
Oh,
what?
no. It's a file which we have created. Okay, so this is a file. This file.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, got it. So import and export you understood. So let's see other commands. We have enough time. Okay. Export history I already told you, right? If you want to see the history of the image, like number of layers and everything, just now we executed, right? So for that we use Docker history and the image name or ID. You can give any one of them. Okay. If you want to list all the images, obviously we use images command. Import we have already seen. Info in the sense I've already shown you. Docker info. It will give you the complete details of your Docker. How many containers we have created till now? 2. How many are running? 2. Passed are 0, stopped are 0. Images are 3. Okay. There are 3 images. Server version in the sense, what is a Docker version? What kind of storage driver you are using? Everything is listed here. You can see here. Okay. This is what we are using right now. Okay. Anything else, guys? Okay, so this is Docker info, just a small thing like which will show you the entire information of the Docker. Okay, Docker version will show you only just a version of your Docker, but Docker info will show you the lot more information like what is storage driver you are using, how many containers are created, and how many are running, how many are stopped. Okay, this information will be available. Okay, so now let's say unfortunately you have created a container. Let's say Docker ps command. Okay, unfortunately, I gave this name as Sudam, so everybody is getting confused. So I want to rename it. So how will you do that? So Docker rename. Okay, we need to give the container name, old name, and the new name. So let us say like Visual Path. Now you can see your container name. Just it is just a name. It is not a host name, right? So it got renamed from Sudams to Visual Path. It is just a simple command. Nothing much to do with rename. Okay. So info we know, inspect I already told you. If you want to look at the Docker objects, let us say if you want to look at the images, or let us say you have created a container. I want to see the details of this particular container. So what I need to do? Docker inspect. Okay, and the sorry, and this is the image which I gave. Okay, this is one object we have. If you want to look at container details, then visual path. You can see. So these are container details. Every object you can see it. If you want to look at the network, you need to give a network, Docker network inspect, and uh, ID of the ID or the name of the network. Okay. So each and every object in the sense containers, images, volumes, these are called as objects, right? So this if information, if you want to see the in detail information, then we need to give inspect option. Okay. So that is all about inspect. Docker -. So I will stop here itself because if I start saying everything, then you will be confused. So try to practice the options which I told you right now. Okay. So these are the options which we have covered right now. What is it? Okay, yeah. Till we have here we have done. So just try to practice this and see whether you are what I have told you, you are getting the same result or not. Okay. And whether you are able to understand or not. If you do hands-on experience, then only you will understand. Okay. So try to practice it and come up with the questions, or if you have any queries, or if you're not able to execute some command as expected, so then you can come up to me. So just simple, see Docker hyphen help and look at the first one and give hyphen help if you don't understand it. Okay, that is just simple. Okay, so I will share the document. Uh, just a second, guys. So try to practice from that particular document. For commands, I have written a separate document also. Let's show you that. Let me show you that actually. Docker commands. Where the commands? Yeah, Docker commands. Well, everything command with output I have saved. You can use this one as a reference. Let me share actually. See, practical example in the sense, yeah, that we can do it actually. Let us say Jenkins. Do you know Jenkins, Rahul? Rahul,
Yes,
can you hear me?
Sudham.
Okay. So
Yeah, yeah.
Jenkins can be installed in the container also. You can access from outside also. That we can do it. Tomorrow, shall we see?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Remind me when the class is getting
Yeah.
started. Before that only we'll start. Okay.
Okay, Sudham. Sure. Thank
Sometimes
you.
I may not be remember that. So that's the reason. Try to remember at the starting of the class itself. We'll try to see that experiment. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Thank you.
So this is the document I have. I'll try to share you guys. Copy link. Can you? Okay. Use the link. Here I have written some of the commands. Okay. And the other document is, let me show you, the Docker deep dive document. So this is another document which I have prepared. So that explains a lot of theoretical concept of Docker. What is it exactly and all. I've shown you practically, and this is the theoretical document. You can read it. So that is all about your commands and all, basic commands and all. So tomorrow we'll see that experiment which Rahul has pointed. Okay. Thank you guys. Thanks a lot. Tomorrow we'll meet at the same time. Okay.